Okay guys, so let's do this example. So a ball is thrown vertically upward with an initial speed of 8 feet per second from the base A of a 50 feet cliff. Determine the distance h by which the ball cleared the top of the cliff and then the time t after release for the ball to land at point B, and then also calculate the impact velocity VB, and then here neglect the resistance and then small horizontal motions of the ball. Now let's do this one with step by step. Now the first thing is, as you know, that we'll list out the given values. So among the given one, the first thing will be, we'll have initial velocity, which is the initial of the ball at the position A. So V0 is equals to VA, which is equals to 80 feet per second. And now the other one is, we have initial distance from point A to point B, which is also 50 feet. And the other one, a normal acceleration, is equals to gravity. It's the gravity in the downward direction only, and it should be 32.2 feet per second square. So this is in the downward direction. That means it's negative. It has a negative impact for the motions of the ball, because it resists or opposes its motion. And now let's take out the required values. So the required value is, the first one is h, and the second one is time to the travel, and then the velocity. So we can rearrange in this way. So time is when the ball returns from its top height to land over B. That's the total jump is calculated now. Let's calculate it now. So the solution can be proceeded now. To apply this concept, we have to understand the kinematics of particles along a rectilinear or along a straight line motion, because the acceleration is constant in this part, so we can apply some principles regarding to that one. So acceleration is constant. Now if you look from here, for the principles of a constant acceleration, we can apply these simple equations. Now let's just call them out as this one is equation 1, equation 2, and this one is an equation 3. Now let's apply these principles or these formulas to calculate the given parameter. So you can write it now here. So velocity is equals to initial velocity plus acceleration times t. Normally initial and final velocity, as you understand that, it will be from the ball initial point to the positions where we want to calculate. Now final velocity squared is equals to v square plus 2as. This is equation 2. And then distance is equals to initial position plus v0 multiplied with time plus half at square. Now let's this as equation 3. Once we do this, we can just substitute some numerical values to get the unknown part by applying the second equation, because our target is just to calculate the distance, and distance, acceleration, and initial velocities are related with equation 2. So let's see this one. Now the maximum position means when the particle just reach its own maximum point and then try to return to back when it finishes its speed. That means when the speed becomes 0. So from position A to C, let's have velocity is 0, as you know that, and then initial velocity is given as 80 feet per second, and the distance from from A up to C can be calculated, as I told you before, with equation 2 normally. Now our final velocity for this case is 0, that means velocity of C is 0. So final velocity square, this one is as initial position, and then this one is a final position. So final velocity square is equals to initial velocity square plus 2as. In this case, the final velocity vc is 0, and then the acceleration is also equals to the gravity, but since it opposes its motion, it will be negative g. So we can rewrite this equation in the form of this one: vc squared minus va squared over 2 times a will be the targeted displacement or position travel from point A to point C. The acceleration is negative g, and then vc is also 0 here. You can substitute this numerical value there. Then it will be 0 minus 80 squared over 2 times 32 times 2, and then finally we'll have the value of this one as negative. We'll cancel out with negative 1, so it will be finally positive 99.4 feet. This is the overall distance that the ball from its starting position to its returning point, but our target is to calculate the height, that means from position C to position B. So this total distance from A to C is equals to, normally this one is 50 plus, and the upper one is h. So SAC is equals to 50 plus h. Now h can be SAC minus 50. So finally we'll have this one as 99.4 minus 50, which is equals to 49.4 feet. So h can be equals to 49.4 feet. This is our final answer for the required height. Now let's do the other one. Is the next required parameter is velocity. Now let's try to calculate it now by applying the previous one with the same equation, so applying the same equation as the previous one. That means final velocity squared equals to the initial velocity squared plus 2 times acceleration times the distance covered. So let's apply this technique. Now VB squared is equals to V squared plus 2A times S from A up to point B. So VB squared is equals to, when you substitute the numerical value 80 squared acceleration is negative, so negative 2 times 32.2 times distance is 50, because from position A to B is 50. So when you substitute this one and then calculate this numerical value, finally you can get 3180. This is the square one. If we under square it, we can get 56.4 feet per second. So this is the required velocity of the given object. And then now for the last question, that means for calculating the time taken from position A up to position B, that means it should be passed through position C too. Then we can apply equation 3, because it can relate displacement, acceleration, time simultaneously. So displacement from A up to B is equals to initial displacement infinity 0 plus VA times time plus half A times time squared. The initial one can be 0 here. Initial velocity at A is also known. Now the only unknown parameters here is time. So it will be 50 is equals to 80t minus half 32.2 t squared. Now, if we rearrange this equation, we can get, if we rearrange this one, or if we collect like terms in the left side, so 16.1 t squared minus 80t plus 50 can be 0. Now this is a quadratic equation simply. So for solving such types of equation, we can apply the technique. I think most of you will be familiar with this one, so we can use this one as A, we can represent this one as B, we can represent this constant as C. So once we represent such numbers, t1, 2, that means root functions will be calculated in this way normally. So minus b plus or minus under radical b squared minus 4ac. I think you are familiar with this one. 2 then divided by 2 times a. So we by substituting this constant numbers, we can calculate t1 and t2. We have normally 2 times, then we'll discuss it later which time will be our answer. So minus of minus 80 will be positive 80 plus or minus and radical 80 squared minus 4 times 16.1 times 50. So this is under radical divided by 2 times 16.1. So t12 is equals to 80 plus or minus. If you calculate these numbers under the radical, you will get 56.4 over this one is 32.2. So we'll have 2 times, that is the positive sign, and then having the negative sign. So let's try to the first time. Calculation of the first time will be 80 plus 56.4 over 32.2. So it will become 4.24 seconds. So, and then the next time will be 80 minus 56.4 over 32.2. It will be 0.73 seconds. Now, which time will be our answer? Now we have 2 times, both are positive. Since both are positive, they will have probabilities to be the answer. But the first time, that means the shorter time, is 0.73 seconds. That means this time is the time which is just for in the upward direction before it reaches at point C. But the longer time is when the ball is returned back from point C to point B. That means the longer point will be longer point will be just our answer. Thank you guys for watching us. Please subscribe our channel. We'll deliver you different interesting videos.